Namaste, welcome everyone. Find a seat that is comfortable if you didn't find one yet. Add any props beneath you or behind you if you want extras to find a shape that you feel like you're sitting elegant and nice and tall, but at the same time it's not rigid, okay? So once you find that, rest your hands and invite a lift and a lengthening action in the spine so the heart stays open. And also an opportunity to soften the skin. As you close the eyes, take a moment to get quiet and still. Draw the outer towards the inner. Relax your skull, the brain, and especially behind the eyes, moving them gently down and in. And for this time, allow yourself to remain there in that inner space. This week, all my meditations have been based in the philosophical concept of avidya, which basically is the practice of coming back and remembering and tapping into our most inner self, the essence of who we are, which is what we understand as permanent, the only thing that doesn't change. So for today, notice whatever it is that it's happening right now. Perhaps there's thoughts, maybe physical sensations. And today, instead of avoiding, looking away from those distractions, really acknowledge them. And then return to the inner space. We want to have complete acceptance of whatever our experience is. And then be generous, kind with yourself, acknowledging all those thoughts, sensations, and anything that comes and goes. We accept these distractions and we stay completely present in this moment, in this space. And then imagine yourself or visualize yourself releasing deeply into that inner space, returning fully to your real self, to your inner light. And in that place, you become free from suffering, from inner suffering, and from suffering even from the world. And we return in such a whole way into that inner space that we become free from confusion, misunderstanding, and pain. So we stay connected with the divine light that remains in absolute joy and freedom. And we know that in this space, we are comforted, we are safe, and we can find our values, our essence, our truth. Let's bring both our palms onto the heart center, just resting on top of your solar plexus. And you can connect there to your pulse. Notice your breath in that space. And keep your awareness into that center. Many times we name this center the windless flame. So that light that shines within you, it's always on, it's always ignited. It never ends. Take a moment to set your intention for this practice. And visualize yourself moving through the journey today, keeping this intention in mind, being that intention, and tapping into your own light, shining bright. Let's bring the palms together and open with the Om sound, inhaling deeply through the nose, big exhale through the mouth, and then breathing in again. Then we connect the head, hands and heart, the three together. Releasing the palms. When you're ready, back onto your lap, lifting the head and opening the eyes. Welcome everyone for being here. Okay, we're going to move on to our mat. I am moving into my mat to start and have a block close by. We're going to use it soon, but let's come onto our backs first. And take a moment as you come onto your back to settle. Keep your knees bent and your feet down on your mat just for a moment. Settle your back and let your arms also rest. Notice your shoulders, the back of your skull, any tingling, any pulsing, even though we don't have the legs completely straight. Just a moment here to settle on your mat. And then we'll start by bringing, doesn't matter which one, pick one leg that you're going to bring the knee into your chest. And then you're going to lace the fingers and place them right behind the thick portion of your hamstring. And I'm going to stay here for a moment. So I'm pressing the thigh into my belly or chest, and I'm going to create a few circles with that foot. Starting to awaken first. The toes perhaps flexing and pointing. The same thing with the foot if you want. Just a little bit there, going slowly, gradually awakening. And then I'm adding a few circles one way and the other. Good. After a little bit of that, I'm going to start pressing the front portion of my leg or the muscles into the back of the leg. And I'm going to keep the shin parallel to the floor, more or less. And I'm just going to try and press my quad into my hands and move that front thigh away from the abdomen. So just that, inhaling and exhale. And notice how it starts to become a little bit warmer or more tingly as we activate the quads a little more. And then we'll slowly add the extension of the whole leg up towards the ceiling. So I'm keeping the action of the quad pressing into the hands, and then I'm adding the rest of the leg up, pushing through the heel and the base of the toes. And if you feel like you are blocking that knee, or that it feels too hard, then micro bend it so you make sure that you're not forcing the bone on bone, okay? So I'm just trying to lengthen here and activate the inner leg, the inner heel, and then the base of the toes. Good, and then I'm going to bend that knee, release that foot down, take a breath here before we go into the second side. Good, then from here I'm going to lace the fingers again, second leg, I'm going to bring it into the chest first, the shin is relaxed, and then I'm going to point and flex the toes and the foot, and move a little bit in circles. You may hear snapping or clicking or clanking sounds, which is normal. And then also notice any aches or sensitivity one side or the other. Good. After that, I'm going to press with the quad onto the back of that thigh. So I'm going into the hamstring and I'm activating more or contracting more those muscles into the hands for a moment. Take 2 breaths here before we send that leg up. Good, and then I'm going to add the leg going up, starting to feel a little bit more of the opening into the backs of the legs, lengthening through the inner leg, inner heel, and then I'm going to add the activation of the base of my toes. This week in many of my classes, I've been teaching the concept of finding this triangular shape in the base of our feet. So that triangular shape will be the center of the heel, then the base of the big toe and the base of the pinky toe. And if you press through those 3 points, it really activates a lot of energy coming from the sole of your feet into your body. So I'm trying to play a lot with those 3 points all along. Good, and then we'll bend that knee, put the foot down. Good, from here we are going to put the soles of the feet together with the knees wide, like when we take the supine butterfly shape. Make the center of the heels push into one another, and then from there, bring your arms overhead, lace your fingers, turn your palms, and push through your palms and the base of your palms, like going into stretching the wrists as well. Let the knees drop naturally to earth, so don't force that. Just push the center of your heels into one another and extend there the sides, get long, take a deep inhalation. And then with the exhale, release the arms, bring the knees towards each other. Send one arm overhead so you can roll over to the side, and then we press up to a seat. Okay, so today, before we do the tabletop and those things that we usually do, I want to do another exercise where we are going to be opening the legs. So I'm going to take a block, and what I'm going to do is that I'm sitting tall, and I'm going to use the flat height of the block, so the lowest, and I'm going to place it right behind the quad, and it's exactly or very similar to the place where you had your hands laced when we were just upside down. So that's where I want to put my block. It's going to feel kind of funny because it's only one and it's only on one side, but I want you to feel the sensation of that quad pressing into the block as you sit tall. That's it for now. Your hands are going to be a little behind so you can have extra support, and you can go as far as you need if you want to go a little further back, or stay a little bit more upright. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use the power of that hamstring, contracting the front of the leg, so the quad into the block. I'm going to press it down, and I'm going to try and extend that leg, lifting it a few inches off the mat, just that. So I'm pressing that meaty or a thick part of the muscles into the block, and just extend the leg and try to lift it, like I said, just a few inches off the mat, and you press through the inner heel into that leg. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. One more breath here. Good, and then release that. Bend the knee so you can take the block out, and we'll go to the other side. So I'm gonna go and put the same thing, flat block under the second leg, which is my left, and I'm going to sit again, making sure that that thick part is on top of the block. And I'm going to put my hands behind me for support. And again, I'm going to push with that top portion into the block. And I'm going to try and press it as actively as I can into it. And then I'm going to extend the leg a few inches off the mat, like I want to hover the leg over the mat. And I'm pressing through that inner heel. And if you can, you add again those 3 points in the foot. So the base of the big toe and the base of the pinky together with the center of the heel, pressing away from you as you push into the block. Breathing in and out. Let's do one more. Good, and then slowly release that. Take that block out. Just sit tall. Notice the legs for a moment. We're going to use the block again, okay? Good, I'm going to return to the first leg that I did, and this time instead of using the flat block, I'm gonna go into the medium side. So I'm going into that long side, and it's going to be a little bit funnier or like different than what we are used, right? So I'm going to try and put, again, the center of my hamstring onto that block. It's going to be a little bit more challenging because the height. And now again, I'm going to hold myself behind. I'm going to press that thigh onto the block. And then again, I'm going to try and extend the leg, just hovering over the mat a few inches. Press, 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 and make the front of the thigh ground onto that block. Feel the sensation there. Try to keep the butt bones on your mat if you can. It's a little bit kind of like a foam roller into that area. One more breath. Good, and then we release that. We take that leg out, and we'll switch into the last side. Same thing, medium block height into the second leg. It's in that place where I was holding before with my hands. I'm going to reset the leg. I'm sitting tall, hands behind me. And then I'm going to press that thigh into the block. And from there, try to extend the leg, pushing through the center of the heel and the base of the pinky and big toe. Breathe in and out. Good, and then slowly release that. Take that block out, and we put it onto the side. Good. Then from here, we are going to, actually, let's come onto our backs for a moment and rock forward and back a few times. Good, one more, and then we'll cross one shin over the other to come forward and take it from here into the tabletop. A nice transition. Good, from here, we are going to keep the shoulders over the wrist. You can pivot your fingertips towards the long sides of your mat, just a touch to create a better grip through the base of your thumbs. And then I'm making sure that my hips and my knees are lined up. Let's take 3 cat-cows here. Inhaling, opening the front of the spine, lifting the heart. Exhaling, navel up, chin towards the chest, sacrum down. And then again, inhaling, slowly finding or feeling more opening space in the spine as you breathe in and out, and you combine the movement and the breath into one. Good, very nice. Now from here, before we move up, I'm going to take my right leg out to the side with the toes pointing forward towards my hands. And I'm going to just shift a little bit my hips back and then towards the tabletop again. So we're going to do this a few times. We are starting to lubricate the hips a little more, the joint. Go for 2 more. And 1 more. Good, and then we're going to keep this right leg out to the side. I'm going to inhale the left arm up And with the exhale, I'm going to thread the left arm to the right. And if possible, bring the left cheek down, or you can put a pillow or a blanket there. With your right hand, press the floor and find a little bit more of that twist if it's available in the body. If not, no worries. You stay where you are, breathing in and exhale. One more breath. Good, then push onto your right hand so you can come back to the tabletop. Good, super, and from here we'll bring that right knee back towards the tabletop, and we'll switch sides. Left leg goes out to the side, pointing with the toes forward towards the hands, and 5 times, let's go slowly, we go back with the hips towards the sitting bone and forward. Just a swinging motion here. You can tuck your back toes if you want, your choice. A few times, feeling the sensation in that hip flexor on the second side. One more. Good, and then I'm going to inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread towards the left. Bring that cheek down if it's possible, with that left hand helping you twist a little more, or just support the posture so it feels stable. Press into the left foot, if you can, mostly into the outer edge of that foot to activate the inner arch and feel that lift in the inner leg. Good, then we push into the left hand slowly, returning to that tabletop. Left knee returns, and we are back into the hands and knees. Reset those hands so they are a little bit out towards the long sides of the mat. Move your knees a few inches behind the hips and bring your feet to the edges of your mat. So this one will be a wide down dog as we go up, and we are going to start it with the knees bent, and I'm going to tell you a few things we are going to do there, okay? So I'm tucking the toes and keeping my knees bent, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just push the mat away to send my sitting bones up. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm letting my lower back create a little bit of an arch. So I'm bringing my chest towards my thighs, relaxing the base of my neck, dropping my head or letting it relax down towards the floor, activating through the arms. And I'm gently creating an external rotation in my upper arm bones and pushing the floor away. Okay, so stay here for a breath. Good, and now what I want us to do is to start pressing with your hamstrings into the same place where you had the blocks. Remember the exercise that we just did? So imagine you're pushing into those blocks again with your with the backs of your legs, and you're trying to touch those blocks or the hands that, like what we did in the beginning, okay? So I'm pressing into that, and then keeping that, I'm going to try and bring my heels further back and down. And again, we are going to bend the knees, release here through the head. Now draw the pelvic floor up and the ribs down. And again, try and press your hamstrings into those imaginary blocks like we did before, as far as you can go, keeping the sacrum tall and high, and then bring the inner heels down towards the floor. Good. Take a deep breath in here, relax the head, and exhale. Draw the pelvic floor up one more time, ribs down towards your hips, and the hip bones moving into one another. And then we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. Good, and we are going to stay here for this forward fold for a moment, bending the knees if you need. And if you can, you're going to keep creating that action of the hamstrings pushing into those blocks like we had in the beginning. Draw the lower belly up, relax the trunk. Let the contents of your brain drop towards the skull and from the skull down to earth. Good, then put your hands onto your hips, lengthen the trunk, press into the center of the heels and the base of your toes to come up to standing. Ah, good, okay. Move your feet a little closer so we shake them a little. Good, I'm going to mirror you guys for this next one. We're going to send the arms up overhead. Good, bend your right elbow and let your right hand come behind the chest or the neck. And with your left hand, hold that elbow and bring it in a little bit towards the midline. Good, now before we do anything else, don't push super hard. I want you to reset your awareness in your feet. So press through the center of the heels, the base of the big toe mound, at the base of the big toes and the pinky, and then lift through the inner arches. And from there, draw the energy into the legs, into the pelvis, and all the way up to the crown of the head. Good. Now from there, I'm going to gently, with the left hand, bring that right elbow in and keep the back of the head moving towards the arms. So I'm not dropping my head, but I'm keeping the chin off the chest. Okay? Good. Let's keep that. Inhaling. And exhale, lift your inner arches in your feet as much as you can. Activate your glutes and draw the navel up. Good, then slowly release both arms down. Take a moment. There's a lot of activation coming from the base up, okay? So that's why we're not doing like a lot of fancy stuff up top. Good, second side, inhaling, arms overhead. Beautiful, now we're going to bend that left elbow. The right hand is going to catch it and bring it in. Once you're there, not a lot of force or pressure, I'm going to reset my awareness in my feet. So I want to lift through the inner arches, pressing into the center of the heels, base of the toes. From there, activate the legs. Imagine you're pressing into those blocks like we did when we were sitting. So those thighs are moving back, the quads are contracting, and from there I'm lengthening everything up and a little bit of a pull of that left elbow in as the chin is off the chest. One more breath. Good, and then release it here. Very nice. Good, I'm going to take again one block and I'm going to show you like this for now. So block, I'm going to put it flat on my mat and I'm going to put my right foot on top. Okay, so it's like only one side, as you can see, but I'm going to keep the opposite leg, I'm going to keep it down, okay? So I'm going to stay like this, now you saw it, I'm going to come a little sideways for the next portion of the exercise. So I'm standing like in Tadasana, but one foot is on my block, and then from here, drawing the abdomen in, I'm going to fold. You may need extra block in front of you because it might be a little too high to be able to touch down. So if you need to put something there, please put it. And then after I do that, my fingertips are touching or anything there to hold. I'm going to again draw everything up from the navel and fold through that torso over the legs. And then I'm going to try and work again with that hamstring, pressing the hamstring back. You're gonna feel it. And trying to send that hip of that right leg into my body. It's going to lean over to the right side. So I want you to bring it into your body, draw the navel up, release the trunk, and just stay there, pressing through the 3 points in your foot and drawing that quad back, pressing that hamstring into an imaginary block like we did in the beginning, okay? Firm the hips in, and then see if you can, with your hands, if you can walk a little bit towards your right as you keep sending your right hip in. You're gonna feel it perhaps a little more. It's intense. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to try and walk back towards the other side. So now I'm going to walk towards the left And again, that right hip will tend to push out. So see if you can bring it in and keep pressing that hamstring back. Of course, at your ability, right? If you need to keep the knee bent, you keep the knee bent and you just create a little bit of that contraction. Breathing in and out. Then we return to center. Good, bring the hands onto the hips, lengthen, come up, and take that foot out, and shake it a little. Good, we are going on to the second side. Now I'm going sideways, so you can see I'm going to do my second side. It's not the same as yours, guys, but so now you're gonna go onto your left, okay? So I'm going to put the block, it's long so it can hold my foot, which is long. Good, and I'm going to press into that foot, like if I want to come into balance, but I'm going to keep the opposite foot grounded. Good, from there I'm going to slowly start coming into the fold, right? So I'm drawing my abdomen up and in, folding. You see how as I'm coming, my knees bend, right? So I'm making sure that I have support and I can touch something here. And then from there, that hip that is the one on the block is going to tend and lean to one side. So what I want to do is to firm that hip into the midline of my body, then drop my trunk again and start working with that quad into the hamstring and the hamstring into an imaginary block like we did in the beginning, pressing back, 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 back as much as I can, even if it's like 1 millimeter, okay? Drop the head. Two more breaths here. No locking off your knees, just contracting the muscles into the back. Good, and then if it's available for you, you walk your hands a little bit to the left, and that hip again will want to go out to the side, so bring it into your body, draw the abdomen in, relax the torso. Maybe you're not going too far to the side, no worries. And then we slowly walk and bring it to the opposite side. And see if you can again bring that hip into the midline, press that hamstring back, and push into the 3 points in your foot to lift your inner arch. A lot of things. Then slowly back to center, bend that left knee, put your hands on your hips, and slowly come up. Nice, release that foot, take the block out, and now we're going to do a little test. We are going to go into downward facing dog again, your regular down dog, and I want you to notice and sense if there's any changes or sensations in your legs, or maybe perhaps the heels feeling a little closer to the mat. So I'm walking my hands into my place for the down dog. I'm going to send my feet hip distance apart, or maybe a little wider if you need. Push with your hands, activate your inner arms like we usually do. And if you need to bend the knees and in the beginning, do so. Draw the navel up and the pelvic floor up, ribs in. And then if you can, play again with that opening in the hamstrings and notice if there's any difference here, okay? Breathing in and out. Good, then we are going to bring the feet a little closer to each other, just inner hip distance apart. And from there, we'll move into plank. Once you get there into the plank, lift again through the underside of your body, lengthen through the crown of the head, firm the shoulder blades into the back of your chest, and push back to down dog. Let's go again a few times. Inhaling to the plank. Exhaling to down dog. Again, inhaling slowly. Draw the abdomen up, lengthen through the underside, lift the inner thighs, push the heels back, downward facing dog. Last one, and in this one we'll go down onto our mats. Again, we lengthen, plank pose, push through the inner heels and center, lift up. Good, let's come all the way down. You can use your knees if you need, beautiful. Fingertips out to the sides. Roll the shoulders back, extending through the legs. Inhaling, we open up cobra. Chest wide, lift the sternum. Exhale. Good, hands under the shoulders, tuck your toes. And we go up, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Exhale, release, deflate, let everything go. Good, bend the knees, gaze forward, take a big step or hop or jump to the top of your mat. Inhaling halfway, we lengthen, lifting the abdomen. Exhaling, we fold. Pressing into the 3 points in your feet, lift up. Exhaling to standing Tadasana. Good, we'll go from here. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, we fold. Halfway on the inhalation. Good, and on the exhale, right leg will go back, right knee comes down. If you need padding for that knee, please add it. Good, and from here, we come up. Inhale, send the arms up and hook your thumbs. Good, let your hips come forward a little. Lengthen through the sides, stretch the arms and bring the heart up and back. Just a little here. Draw the sacrum down as you lift the lumbars up. Good, exhale, put the hands down, go back to downward facing dog. Good, from here, inhale your right leg up and back. Right foot comes forward, left knee comes down. We switch sides. Inhaling, arms up overhead, hook your thumbs. Lengthen through the sides, shift the hips forward, open up. One more breath, lifting through the heart. Exhale, put your hands down, left foot forward and fold. Inhaling halfway, bending knees if needed, exhale, fold. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling to center, releasing into Tadasana. We'll go again, second side, inhaling, arms up. Open up as you exhale. Inhaling, finding length in the sides, chest open. Exhale, left leg back, left knee down. Good. Inhaling, arms up, hook the thumbs. Same thing, shift the hips, lengthen the sides. Draw the navel up to your nose. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Left foot comes forward, right knee goes down. We come back. Inhaling, arms up, hook the thumbs. Shift the hips, lengthen the sides. Lift from the bottom of the pelvic floor. Exhale, bring the right foot forward and fold. Inhaling half. Exhaling, we fold. Pressing through the feet all the way up. Exhaling into the center. Tadasana. Let's take a breath here or two. Just taking a moment to notice and sense the breath. And try to settle just for a moment. And we'll start again. Good, let's go from here. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, coming over into Tadasana. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, this time we walk back to downward facing dog. From the downward facing dog, we'll come into plank. Lower. Good, from here, cobra pose, lift up, draw the navel up, sacrum in. Exhale. Tucking the toes, up we go, downward facing dog. Good. Same action as we did in the beginning. Press with your quads into the hamstrings, into those imaginary blocks. Draw the lower belly up. Good. Let's inhale, right leg up and back. Right foot comes forward. Good. Let's keep the back heel pushing back. Tone the inner legs. And from here, we'll bring both our hands onto our right thigh. Coming up. Beautiful. From here, we are going to inhale, arching like the cow pose. And with the exhale, I'm going to round and bring the navel in. And again, inhale, exhale. Good. Inhale, last one. Exhale, rounding. Good. Keep these. And then slowly lift the trunk a little bit more into the standing. And from there, we'll send the arms up into the crescent lunge. Good. So there's less of the arch. It's a little bit more in, but I'm still lengthening through the arms, the crown of the head. Right hand is going to catch the left forearm. Pull from there, and we tilt a little bit into the right side. If the back hamstring feels tight, you can bend the back knee. If not, you keep activating that inner thigh. Bend the front knee. Good, coming back. Release, back to down dog. Big inhale. Exhale. Good, second side, inhaling left leg up and back. Left foot comes forward. Tone both inner legs into one another, lengthen through the spine, drawing the navel up, bring your hands onto your thigh. Good, and from there 3 times we take the cat-cow. So inhaling, press into your thigh, open up, exhale, draw the navel in, upper back rounds. Again, inhale, exhale. Last one. Good, now from there, we bring the torso to vertical, we bring the arms up. Good, catch with your left hand, your right forearm, pull there, and we tilt over to the left. Draw the lower abdomen up, sacrum down, bend the front knee. Back to center. Release, back to down dog. Good, from here we go to plank. Use your knees if you need at any moment to come down. Good, in this one we are going to switch it a little, bringing the arms behind. Lace your fingers if you can. Roll the shoulders back, extend through the arms. Lift through the chest. Widen the collarbones, and if you can, you add the legs. If not, you keep them down. Lifting up. Navel lifts up towards the spine. Last breath. Release. Beautiful. Let's go from here into child's pose. Widen the knees. Bring the sitting bones into the heels. Release the forehead down. And we take 1 minute to reset. Good, making sure everyone is fine. Good, rest there, take a moment. Try to settle the breath. Notice any sensations besides the breath, anything showing up. Let it be there. And there's always the chance to return to your center. That light that it's shining within yourself to find joy, peace, calm, and patience. Just a little more. Good. Last full inhalation. Big exhale. And from there, slowly we press up. Good. Tuck your toes so you can lift up into standing. And we come all the way up. Good. I'm going to show you the next one and I'm going to come a little closer. Okay. So in this one, I'm going to mirror you guys and we are going to bend the knees a little. Okay. So let's start actually to just bring the shape into this with a chair pose. So my feet are hip distance apart and I'm going to just bend the knees, try to bring the sitting bones back, and then from here send my arms forward. Okay. Now, once I get there, I'm going to try and just activate my core a little more by drawing the pelvic floor up. Good, and the ribs down and seeing if I can go a little further down, just a touch. And from there, I'm going to take a cactus shape with my arms. So my chest, I make sure that I'm opening the chest, shoulder blades down and into each other, and keep drawing the pelvic floor up. Inhale, exhale. Then we inhale, we come up. Exhaling, we release. Good, beautiful. With this base, now we are going to add a little something extra. I'm going to again bend my knees, and this time I'm going to show you sideways just so you see what my legs are doing. My right knee for you guys, the right knee, I'm going to put it behind the left thigh, but I'm not going to touch. This week I did an exercise that was like with the knee touching. This time we are not. So I'm going to keep that knee without touching with my back heel, which is off the floor, as you can see. And then I'm putting my my hands over my front thigh. Okay, so this is the first portion. I'm going to draw the abdomen in and send my sitting bones down like if I'm coming into the chair. Good. And then from there, I'm going to round like when I'm doing the cat, right? So I'm going round. We already have a lot of balancing going on here and core. And now you're going to put the right arm over the left leg, and we are going to try and take a twist there. So now I'm going to come like this so you can see it. And I'm going to hook the elbow over. Good. And then put the hands together. The back knee is not touching the front leg, okay? So I'm crossing and putting the hands into one another. I'm pushing the hands so I can lift the belly, keep rounding like the cat, belly in, and send the chest towards your left. Good, breathing in and out. It's like a weird chair pose, twisting. Pressing to the base of your big toe in that front foot. Good, and then return to center and up and release it. Ha, shake it. Awesome. Good, we go into the second side. You got it? Second side. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to send the left knee behind. I'm gonna stay facing you guys so we go together. Left knee behind. The knee's not touching the calf, right? It's a little bit behind. My back heel is up. I'm going to sit back like when I'm doing the chair pose. Draw that navel in. Hands on top of the front thigh. Perfect. I can see you guys, some of you. Good. And now push into that thigh and draw the navel in. So it's like the cat pose and I'm rounding. So I want to keep that action so it gives me more space to twist, okay? Now I'm going to bring that left elbow over to the right side, over the right knee, and the hands together, if I can, pushing the hands into one another, keeping that rounded shape in my back. Draw the navel up and bring the belly and the chest towards the right. Press into the right big toe mount, push it down. One more breath. Good, then slowly back to center, up, and shake it a little. Ah, awesome, okay. Back to where we were. Let's go to the top of the mat. And from here, we inhale, arms up overhead. Exhaling, we fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, we go back, downward facing dog. Walk and find your shape with the distance that you need. Push the mat away. Draw the lower abdomen in and up. Keep space in the chest. And drop the head. Good, one more breath here. Good, let's inhale, right leg up and back. Firm the hips in, bend the right knee, opening the knee towards the left side. Send the sacrum in, hips into one another. And then see if you can find a little bit more balance between the shoulders. Usually the left one will tend to drop, so see if you can lift it up. Draw the navel up. Then we re-extend the right leg up and back. Bring that right knee into the chest. Plank pose, lift that knee up. Then re-extend the right leg up and back. Good, right foot comes forward and left foot comes all the way down, parallel to the back end of your mat. We are going to straighten the front leg for this one. So front leg extended, back leg also. Lift through the inner arches. And if you need a block behind the right foot, put it there. We're going to open into the triangle pose. Good. If not, you can, of course, hold the shin or touch the floor. Once you're there, press again into the base of the big toes. Lift the inner arches. And then lengthen the sides of your trunk. And roll the shoulders back. Good. Now from here, I want you to try and really bring the abdomen in, but squeeze it and lift it up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lengthen, 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 sending the hips towards the left as the torso is moving to the right. Good. Let's add the left arm up and over the head. So we create a longer stretch there from the left fingertips all the way to the left hip point. One more breath. Good. Push into your feet to come back up to standing. Good. And now we are going to bend the front knee into the warrior two. Beautiful. Take a deep inhalation here. Good. Let's inhale, reverse. Exhale and stay. Good. Inhale one more. And with the exhale, I'm coming back. I'm going to take my block so I can travel with it. Left hand onto the left hip. And I'm going to move into one practice of balancing into the half moon. Okay? If this feels like it's too much or you're not used to the shape or you're new to it, you can always stay in the triangle pose, which is a modification and a preparation for the other one, okay? So I'm just bending my front knee, traveling with my block, so I have a little extra stability with that support. And then I'm going to try and hug the glutes towards one another, opening the pelvis. Again, I'm swinging chest and belly up. And if you want, you add the left arm going up. Press through the heels and the base of your toes. Last breath. And then we slowly return back to warrior two. Nice. Good. Then let's bring the hands down. Back to downward facing dog. Good. We'll add here one plank. A little power coming down. You can skip this if it feels like it's too much. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale. Good. Back up we go, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Second side, here we go. Left leg goes up. Firm the hips, bend the left knee, open the knee towards the right side. Go as far as it goes for today. Then send the sacrum in, right ribs in, and push the mat away as you level your shoulders if possible. Then re-extend, left leg up and back. Left knee to the chest into the plank. Push the mat away, lift that knee up. Then send it back up. Good, bend the knee, bring that left foot in between the hands. Turn the back foot down. Put the block if you want or if you need it behind the left foot. And we're going to straighten that front leg to open up into triangle pose. Nice. Let's send that right hip crease back, toning through the inner legs from your inner arches up, belly and chest towards the ceiling. And I'm trying to lengthen my upper ribs down towards the right hip. If I lift them up to the ceiling, then my underside gets short. So I'm going to try, instead of doing that, to send them down towards the right hip. Shoulders back. Press into the outer edge of your back foot, then bring that right arm up and over. Stretch through the fingernails as much as you can. Good, let's come up. And bend the front knee for warrior two. Keep the power into your feet so you draw the energy up. Right hand down, inhale, reverse. Exhale. One last. Good, we return slowly. Put your hand onto your support so you can travel with it. And I'm going to bring my right hand into my hip to start. It's a little easier. Bringing that back foot forward. My left hand goes a little further so the shoulder and the wrist are more or less in the same line. And from there, I'm going into half moon. I'm pressing into the big toe of that left foot. It will help me with balance. And then I'm trying to open up through the pelvis, glutes active, belly and chest up, lengthening and lifting through the sides. Push into that right heel. Those 3 points are always helpful to activate the leg and keep it high or keep it toned. One more breath. Good, and then slowly release. Coming back. Warrior two, we made it. Good, from here bring the hands down. Back to downward facing dog. Good, one more breath where you are. Good, and then we'll slowly bring the knees down and sit back for a moment. If you can, you sit on your heels. If not, you put something in between the heels to sit on, okay? Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Nice. Okay, I'm going to take my block again for the next shape. I'm coming a little closer. Good. And I'm going to use the medium side and I'm going to sit on it, okay? So I'm coming there. Maybe if you need two, you can put two. I'm coming into my block, so I'm a little bit elevated and I'm bringing my heels close to that block, sitting tall, okay? Find that spot there, sitting tall. Make sure that you have stability and you're not falling. Good, once you have that, I'm going to put my right hand behind me for support. Sometimes, because of the block, it's hard to touch down, so you may need to add a blanket there or a pillow if you need extra holding, okay? With my left arm, I'm going to come onto the right knee, so I'm holding and I'm hugging that knee into my chest. and I'm lifting the torso and twisting to the right. Breathing in and out. Relaxing the right shoulder, opening and lifting through the sternum. One more breath. Good, and then slowly back to center. Reset. I'm going to the opposite side. Now my left hand is behind, a little bit of support there. Right arm is going to hug my left knee or leg a little bit in. Then from there, I'm drawing navel up, lifting, shoulders down. One more breath. Then we slowly return. Good. Release that. Get yourself out of that block. Sit down onto your mat. Extend the legs. Good. And shake them a little. Good. From here, I'm going to bend my right knee. And let the knee drop to the side. So it's like the tree pose, sitting tall. Good. If you want or you think that it's beneficial for you to have a belt here to catch your foot, this is the opportunity to get that belt and put it there. I'm going to sit tall, and I'm going to try and bring my belly and my chest towards that left thigh. And remember what we did in the beginning, that we were pressing with the thigh into the block. I want you to do the same thing now. So that thigh, like if you had the block in the beginning, press it down so it's really grounded. And from there, with belly and chest framing or coming towards that left knee, I'm going to fold, maybe catch my foot, or put the belt if you need it. Lengthen the spine. Remember, we press that left quad and hamstring down into the mat like if we have the block, and we fold. One more breath here. And then we slowly come back up. Good, bring that right knee in, extend that leg, shake it a little. Beautiful, we'll go into the second side, bringing the left knee in, sit tall for a moment, and then you let that knee drop to the side. If you need support under the knee, like a block or something else, put it there. So if it's very high and it's not coming down, just put something underneath. And then from there, I'm sitting tall. I'm going to frame my extended leg. Remember that thigh is pressing down like the block that you had in the beginning. Shifting the belly and the chest towards that right leg. Going towards the foot or the belt if you have to pull from there. Draw the navel up. Lengthen the front of your spine and then come over that leg. One last breath here. Good, and then slowly coming up. Good, bring that knee in, extend the legs, shake them a little. Keep a block close by in case you need it for a few things that we're going to do on our backs. First, we are going to come onto our back. Relax your head down, torso, shoulders. Take a moment here. Good. First, we'll take a regular bridge pose, and then I'm going to modify it. So, bridge pose with the heels a little wider than your sitting bones, feet pressing down. I want you to really activate now those 3 points in your feet. Here, they are extremely helpful, as in any shape. But here, usually, we tend to go more into the outer edges of the feet, and we forget that the inner heels and the base of your big toes are super important to keep stability in the posture and activate the muscles that need to hold you, okay? So we are going to try and keep that, walk the shoulders down, You can always catch the sides of your mat or use your elbows to push, to lift. Different options here. Activate your glutes, send the sacrum into your body, and then from there, lift up. Maybe after you do that, like I'm doing, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades a little bit closer to one another. And you can go, like I said, into holding the mat or lacing the fingers behind the lower back, or any of the versions that you know. Now notice what's happening in your feet. Can you make the inner heels press down and the big toes? Stay in your breath. One more full cycle. Then releasing through the arms first. Slowly bring your torso down. Take a moment here, rest. We are not adding any shape because we're going to do a second version of this a little different. So we just reset for a moment. Good. And now for the second one, we're going to bring the feet a little closer to each other. So just a tiny bit closer for extra balance and stability. Good. And the first thing that I'm going to do, remember, we want to activate big toe mount, pinky toe mount, and center of the heel for both feet. But I'm going to keep that mostly in my left foot. And again, I'm walking the shoulders behind, away from the ears. And I'm going to hold the mat, and I'm going to press into that left foot and just lift my right leg up. I'm still on my mat, my whole trunk, okay? I'm just lifting that leg, and I want you to activate that hamstring again, pressing like if you're pushing into the block like we did in the beginning, pushing through the heel and the base of your toes. And now we remember again the 3 points in the left foot, keeping that sacrum in, hold your mat, and then see if you can lift your hips. And now, as you lift it, notice if there is one hip lower than the other and try to balance the hips by lifting your glutes. Breathe in and out. Good, then slowly come down, fiery, and then release. Good, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. We'll undo our lower back after this because I know it can be a little intense there, okay? So it's very important that you activate your glutes, your core, your outer hips into the midline, and the sacrum into your body, okay? Second side. Right foot pressing down those 3 points. When you're ready, shoulder blades tucked in, send the left leg up. We are still down on the mat. Good. Set yourself there. Press that front thigh into the imaginary block. Keep the hips active. When you're ready, let's go. Press into that right foot. Lift up. Keep the hips level. Work those hamstrings, glutes, sacrum in. Open the chest. Good, and then slowly take it down. Bring the foot down. Big breath in and out. Now, let's put the soles of the feet together. Bring the feet into your hands. It's like the seated posture, but upside down. I'm pushing the heels into one another, bringing the feet in, and just stay there with a few breaths to open up the lower back. Breathe into the lumbar spine and that area. Good, we made it to the end. Slowly bringing the knees towards one another and rocking from side to side. Good, then we are going to put, last thing, we're going to put the feet wide like your mat. Drop both knees to your right, open the arms to the sides, and put the right foot on top of your left knee, okay? So we are going to stay there for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Relax the back of your skull and your brain. your face. Good. Then slowly take the right foot down. Bring both knees back to vertical. Keep the feet wide. Send both knees to the left. And then the left foot goes on top of your right knee if that feels okay. Relaxing here. Last full breath, relaxing your jaws. And then slowly take the left foot out. Bring the knees back to center. Hug both knees into the chest for one more time. And here I'm going to give you the chance if you want to take a happy baby pose. It can feel good before coming to rest. So grabbing both your feet and rocking a little bit from side to side with the knees wide. Beautiful. Super, and we'll go from there into setting up for Shavasana. Once you're ready, relax your legs down, add a pillow if you need, or any support if you are coming onto the supine posture. If you have a wall close by and you want to put your legs up the wall, Shavasana in that way can be also very beneficial for your whole nervous system, your legs, your pelvis and chest. And it has a lot of good benefits to do that too. So if you want that, you can take it that way. If there's no wall, forget it. Just lie down on your mat and I'll tell you when we are done, okay? Give yourself this time to return to earth, to surrender, to release the body, release the mind, coming to the eternal self.